So this is my second MSI laptop review after the MSI Bravo 15, and today we have the MSI Cyborg 15, which is really a beautiful, futuristic and a translucent laptop. Usually translucent laptops like the ROG Scar cost around 1,50,000 and above, but you can get this kind of an experience with the MSI Cyborg without breaking the bank. Like a cyborg has half human and half robot body, this looks like, well, half laptop and half robot, if that makes sense. So in this video, let's admire the beauty of this laptop and find out, is it worth buying? Starting off with some general specifications, it comes with the Core i5-12450H processor with 8 cores and 12 threads, out of which 4 are P cores and 8 are E cores. It has an RTX 2050 with 4 GB of VRAM but a lower TDP of only 45 watts. It has a 16 GB of DDR5 RAM clocked at 4800 MHz that comes in dual channel and a 512 GB Gen 4 SSD. Now I get that to limit the budget, they put an i5-12450 and an RTX 2050 with a lower TDP, but the fact that they gave DDR5 RAM in this laptop is really commendable, as I was expecting DDR4 RAM at this budget. So let's find out if DDR5 RAM really removes the bottleneck on the Core i5-12450H. First thing first, let's admire the beauty of if they added some translucent look on the keyboard area as well, as there isn't any. It has an aluminum toplet with a polycarbonate body which feels quite sturdy. It has no toplet flex, no keyboard flex and stable hinges, giving no screen wobble at all. It can easily be opened with one hand and the screen goes back to full 180 degrees. One notable good thing about this laptop is that for a laptop worth 60,000, its build quality is just simply excellent, competing with the likes of TUF and Legion. It has a plain toplet with simple MSI logo on the top, which gives it a very subtle feel. It has narrow bezels all over. I mean, there is a chin, but it doesn't bother at all. It has a full-size keyboard, but the numpad is very small and looks like it's squished. It is very uncomfortable to use, especially with the odd placement of plus, minus and the enter key. It has a good typing experience though. It has that gamerly font on the keyboard, of which I am not really a fan, but it is very readable. It has translucent WSD and arrow keys, which add to its gamerly feel. It has only one single zone blue backlight with no RGB at all, but surprisingly it's a very nice light bluish tint and looks really good. It has a good sized fully clickable trackpad with multi-gesture support. It has a power button on the top side among the other keys and is transparent, and it needs to be pressed for about 2 seconds for it to take effect, so no accidental presses. It has an odd placement of the function key, which is very confusing with MSI laptops, but it can be swapped with the window key on the left side in MSI center. It has dimensions of 14.15 inches by 9.86 inches by 0.86 inches and has a weight of only 1.98 kgs. It has rounded corners, and because of its really lightweight, it is super easy to carry. It has air exhaust only on the left side and on the back left side. It has MSI True Gaming written with the vents built in the letters instead of the typical vent. Talking about the features, it comes with 53.5 watt-hour battery that gives battery backup of 2.5 to 3 hours of regular usage and below 1 hour of gaming. There are 2 speakers of 2 watt each with dynamic audio support. It's got Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2 for that seamless connectivity. It has a 720p webcam on the top screen. It has good shortcut keys with function plus up to control the fan speed, function plus down to spawn a crosshair on the screen, very useful for shooting games that don't have a crosshair, function plus left key to play and pause the music, and function plus right key to control the keyboard backlight. Talking about the screen, it has a 15.6 inch IPS anti-glare panel with a native resolution of 1920 by 1080p, an aspect ratio of 16 by 9, 144 Hz refresh rate, 270 nits peak brightness, but only 54% sRGB, so not too good for color accurate tasks, 140:1 contrast ratio, 178 degree viewing angle and a 19 millisecond response time. So the screen of this laptop is only okay, but considering the price it comes in, it feels really good. Coming to the ports, it has in total 2 USB Type A ports and 1 USB Type C port. Starting from the left, we have 1 USB Type A 3.2 Gen 1 port and 1 audio mic combo jack. On the right, we have 1 power pin, 1 LAN port, 1 HDMI 2.0 port that supports display of 4K 60Hz only, 1 USB Type C 3.2 Gen 1 port that also supports display output, and 1 USB Type A 3.2 Gen 1 port. There are no ports on the back side. The port situation is not very good, as it has only 2 USB Type A ports, and in this time at least 3 USB Type A ports are a must. There is no Thunderbolt 4 port, but that's to be expected with a low budget laptop. But the main thing is that it has majority of the ports on the right side of the laptop, which may come in the way of right-handed users, and it has no ports on the back side. Coming to the upgradability, it has 2 slots for 16GB DDR5 RAM, only 1 NVMe slot for an SSD that has a maximum capacity of 2 TB, and 1 upgradable Wi-Fi and Bluetooth card. I ran some stress tests on this laptop and here are the results. Cinebench R23 scored 2246 in single core and 9848 in multi-core. Geekbench scored 2246 in single core and 8489 in multi-core. 3D Mark TimeSpy scored 3258 overall, 2956 GPU and 6656 CPU scores. These scores are okay for the price of the laptop that it comes in and good for tasks like low to medium level gaming, coding, editing up to 4K level with some few hiccups, creative workload, but not too good for architectural work or machine learning or AI work because of its 4GB of VRAM and low powered graphic card. Here are some results of the usual AAA titles on this laptop. These were the test conditions at which the games were tested. And as you can see, it gave playable FPS in all these titles, giving up to 40 FPS in Cyberpunk, which is still playable. So this laptop is capable of playing AAA titles or giving the experience of AAA titles. Even Hogwarts Legacy type games that are really demanding were also playable pretty well. No game crashed or gave frames below 40. Pretty good for a laptop at this price with a 45 watt TDP graphic card. Even if you compare the results with 70 watt RTX 2050, there is not much difference in the FPS, and one can easily consider the 45 watt version over the 70 watt according to me if you have a budget constraint. Now comparing with the gaming data of DDR4 RAM at 3200 MHz with Core i5 12450H and RTX 2050 with 55 watts of TDP, one can clearly see a boost of 10 to 15% in at least all these games, which concludes that DDR5 RAM really brings out better performance of the CPU and GPU. Temperatures were also well managed. I did not expect the temperatures to be good and staying below 90 degrees as it had limited intake and exhaust fans, but this laptop performed really well in terms of managing the temperatures, maybe because it has a lower powered CPU and GPU. Talking about the price, it is available online for 60,000 as of making this video, but this laptop is available at Creative Laptops exclusive MSI store in Ludhiana, which is one of the kind in Punjab, and they offer really great deals on the MSI laptops at competitive prices as compared to even the online channels. So do check them out before you buy. Contact details in the description. In conclusion, I would like to say that it is a pretty great budget-friendly laptop with awesome build, reliable specifications, good performance in AAA titles, and good thermals. It does have some drawbacks like no RGB, below average port situation, no mux switch with limited upgradability for storage. But to be honest, personally at least, I feel that its transparent looks and good performance for a laptop at this price makes up for it. Overall, it's a good laptop to consider, especially if you want to play AAA titles
with a budget of 60,000 with a durable body.
If you liked the review, please like the video, dislike if you didn't, tell me about it in the comment section, and consider subscribing for more videos like this.